In Stoneham for the local cable sports game of the week. Today, the Stoneham Spartans host the Reading Rockets. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome to Stoneham High School. Along with Cliff Allen, I'm Mike Moscarello. Glad to have you with us for the 82nd meeting between the Stoneham Spartans and the Reading Rockets. For the first time in recent memory, both teams come into Thanksgiving Day with an opportunity to win the Middlesex League title. The co-leading Stoneham Spartans come in with a record of 6 wins and 2 losses. A win here today gives them their first league title since 1972. A Melrose loss combined with the Stoneham win sends the Spartans to their first ever Super Bowl. The Rockets also have aspirations of a league title, but their scenario is not quite so simple. A Rocket win today, combined with a Melrose loss to Wakefield and a Lexington victory over Burlington, gives the Rockets a share of the league title in their second Super Bowl appearance in the last 3 years. For a closer look at these two teams and to highlight some of the key individuals, let me turn to my partner, Cliff Allen. Cliff, we know the Reading Rockets pretty well, having seen them quite a bit this season. This is a team that has grown offensively over the last 6 or 7 weeks. Their growth parallels that of junior quarterback Dave Pizzotti.
Absolutely. Pizzotti, number 12 for our fans watching on television, is a fellow who started the season as a backup quarterback. Injury situation resulted in him going on the field. He took over the leadership of the team about midway through the first game of the season, and he's been there ever since. He's done a fine job. He runs the ball fairly hard, although not often. He does run the ball with some success. He's got 3 touchdowns on the ground. He's thrown a number of touchdown passes to a variety of different receivers. He has about 4 or 5 receivers that he seems to want to go to. He seems to be quite comfortable looking for his tight end, number 82, Brian Burbine. And he also throws to his backs and his flankers. So so far as the quarterback position is concerned, he's really a well-rounded, although a young fellow. He's gained a lot of experience, and the team has improved as he's gained that experience. The running game, Marshall, number 34, Jeff Marshall is a fellow we want to keep an eye on. He's gets all the tough yards. Nick Aiello, another ball carrier for the Rockets out of the backfield. They run a variety of different offensive looks. That you might see triple receivers to one side or the other, wishbone formation, straight T formation, wing backs, a variety of different tools that Coach Kaspersak attempts to use to foul up the defense and basically get different looks.
Tom Kaspersak says the Stoneham defense is one of the most underappreciated in the Middlesex League. This is a team that is number 3 in fewest points allowed, giving up under 12 per game. This is a defense that is built on speed and quickness.
There's no doubt about it. Meal, the middle linebacker, is a fellow who seems to get everybody else around them pumped up. They are very, very quick to that football. In fact, I would assume that one of the things that Reading might want to try to do is maybe try to take advantage of that, maybe a slight weight advantage, their offensive line against the defensive line, and perhaps because Stoneham is so quick to the ball, there may be some misdirection runs attempted by Reading. So I think what Reading will try to do is turn around that advantage that Stoneham has, and that advantage is tough tackling, very, very aggressive pursuit to the football.
For the Rockets on defense, they play a rather interesting bend but don't break type of defense. They will give up yardage, but they will not give up the big play. They force teams to play 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and then they try to capitalize on offensive mistakes. They have created 15 turnovers over the course of 9 games. Guys to keep an eye out for on the Rockets defense, their 2 senior inside linebackers, Jeff Marshall, number 34, and Nick Aiello, number 41, both among the leading tacklers for the Rockets. They have good speed and quickness and have been tough against the run all season long. Kenyon Davis, their junior nose tackle, is back in the lineup after missing the better part of 2 weeks. He suffered an ankle sprain in week 7 against Belmont. He's been having an outstanding season. His addition to the defense could help bolster their run defense, which will be tested here this morning. Stoneham Spartans' ground game is among the best in the Middlesex League. Their number 1 option on offense is number 1, Eric Lockhart. The junior tailback has 1,381 yards on the season. At 6'1", 215 pounds, he has the strength to break tackles and the speed to score from anywhere on the field. Just ask the Woburn Tanners defense about Lockhart's abilities. They saw a 61-yard masterpiece for a touchdown in week 9. Stoneham does not throw the ball very often, but when they do, it's probably going to be to Pete Fisher, their tight end. At 6'3", 225 pounds, he has soft hands, the ability to get deep, and is a devastating blocker. Tom Kaspersak calls him the best pure prospect in the Middlesex League. Well, the table is set for this Thanksgiving Day football feast. Cliff and I will be back with the opening kickoff between the Rockets and the Spartans. Please stay with us. Welcome back to a very blustery Spartan field in Stoneham. Cliff Allen, Mike Moscarone with you for the 82nd meeting between the Rockets and the Spartans. Cliff, one thing that we did not touch upon during pregame is the field conditions and the wind conditions here at Spartan Field. Very strong wind blowing from left to right as people watch it at home.
I think the Gale flag should be up today rather than the U.S. flag. But in any case, the flag is out straight, and this is going to be very interesting. I think what it's going to come down to with the wind conditions, I think it's going to come down to Reading's ability to stop Stoneham's running game and Stoneham's ability to stop Reading's run from him. I think that's what it's going to come down to, because I can't see anybody successfully throwing the ball with any effectiveness.
The Spartans have won the toss. They will move from right to left as you watch it at home in their blue uniforms with the blue helmets. The Rockets in the traveling whites, the white pants, white shirt, red numerals, and the white helmets. Mike Lahane, number 10, has it up on the tee for the Rockets. Back deep to receive for the Spartans, number 10, Tom Adams. And the 82nd meeting is underway. Ground ball picked up by one of the upbacks. And out to about the 33-yard line goes John O'Donnell, number 20, where Stoneham will pick it up first and 10. To give you a look at the Stoneham offense, Pete Fisher, number 89, is your tight end. The right side of the offensive line, Nick Riley, number 60, John Travasso, 73, Jim Delegata, 53, is the center, Joe Meal, left guard, number 52, Mark Brown, left tackle, 64. In the backfield, Eric Lockhart, number 1. The guy we featured at the top is the tailback. Matt Fusco, 35. Is the fullback. Jeff Deerstein, 14, is your quarterback, and here is Fusco on the first play with a big hole. Taken down at the 39-yard line. Greg Fratto, number 17, up from the secondary to make the play, just to round out the Spartans offensively. Not to forget Greg Del Greco, the I-back. He does a very nice job of blocking for the Spartans offense.
I just noticed Delson, number for the Rockets, number 42, Delson Grubbs, is in fact playing one of the linebacker spots here.
On second down and about 5, the toss to Lockhart. Got a good block in the point of attack. Still on his feet, and will be finally dragged down by Greg Fratto, number 17, Mike Lahane, number 10. Just to give you the Rockets on defense, because we like to welcome our friends over in Reading on Channel 3.
On the tackle for the Rockets.
Watching at home. Brian Burbine, 82, is the left defensive end. Mike Horvath, 51, the left tackle. Kenyon Davis is the nose tackle, number 44. Nate O'Keefe, number 84, is the right end. We'll see if we can pick up who the right tackle is. It looks like it's going to be Matt Ray, number 64. We'll give you the linebackers in a second as Deerstein will go on the quarterback sneak to the 45-yard line to pick up the first down.
Pretty tough to defend that particular play. Quarterback is up, doesn't necessarily even have to make an audible call. Just simply touches the centers and gets the ball automatically on the touch. And there's no verbal commands given at all. The defense just can't adjust to that.
Rockets going with a 5-3. The inside linebackers, Aiello, Marshall, and Grouts. And here comes the blitz as Lockhart comes left. And you see some of the strength of young Eric Lockhart. Got stacked up.
Number 1 carried
by Aiello and O'Keefe. He'll pick up 4 or 5 on first down.
Trying to watch the Reading defense to see if they have the ability to make Lockhart cut back. So far, they've run the ball to the near side of the field, and so far they've been successful keeping him inside. Now it's a matter of the linebackers have to come across the field and make the tackle.
From a 49-yard line on 2nd and 6. Fusco straight ahead, not much there. Nick Aiello, number 41, down at the bottom of the pile.
Nick Aiello, number 41 on the tackle for the
Well, the Spartans have some tools, Mike, so far as having Lockhart capable of breaking the ball from tackle to the end, anywhere and any place in between, and then for a change-up, come back with Fusco. It's very, very difficult to defend this team.
They have over 1,900 yards rushing as a team. 1,381 belong to Lockhart, but Fusco has chipped in with 400 yards rushing on the season. 3rd and medium, 3rd and 5. Lockhart goes down, and Deerstein is on a solo and will be knocked out of bounds by Pizzotti and Nate O'Keefe. He wanted to go to Lockhart to the right side, but Eric slipped at the start, and Deerstein was on his own.
Well, we were on the field earlier, and the field seemed to me to be in pretty good condition. I don't think that there should be a wholesale amount of slippage during the course of the game, but that particular play just found one spot, and he lost the traction.
Mike Lahane, number 10.
Of course, it did snow here yesterday, but the field was clear when we got here this morning, about an hour or so before game time. Pete Fisher back to punt for Stoneham, and it's an end-over-end punt coming to the near side, and will bounce out of bounds. And see where they mark him out, somewhere around the 35, 38-yard line.
It goes out of bounds.
At the 38 is where the Rockets will pick it up, 1st and 10.
That the punting situation takes on a more important note now because of, as we mentioned, the wind blowing as it is. You might think about the passing game in relationship to the wind, but the special teams, the long snap back to the punter, becomes a key play now, maybe even more so than under normal weather conditions.
1st and 10 for the Rockets. Dave Pizzotti, the junior quarterback, 7 touchdown tosses, only 2 interceptions. Jeff Marshall is the the tailback. Nick Aiello, the fullback. They come in with 2 wide receivers. Burbine split near side. Nolan split top of the screen. Aiello on first down, straight ahead.
Aiello, the ball carrier,
to about the 44-yard line where Jim Delgado, number 53, makes the stop.
2nd down, Rocket.
Well, I think the Rockets, the first couple of plays, have just got to test the Stoneham defense. They want to see how Stoneham reacts to certain plays, and I think it's that feeling out process right now.
Spartans defensively, Fisher 89, Brown 64, the left side of the line. Sullivan 58, Delgado 53, the right side. We'll give you the linebackers in the secondary in just a second. On 2nd down and about 5.
44.
Eric Wilson gets a carry, and Delgado wraps him up right away. We'll bring up a 3rd and 5.
For the Rockets.
Just to mention the linebackers and secondary backs. Of course, I know this is a group that you are very impressed with. Joe Neal inside is about as good a linebacker you're going to find in the Middlesex League. You've got Domoretsky and McDonald on the corners, and Carino also inside. In the secondary, Adams, number 10, Del Greco, 34, and O'Donnell, number 20. And know that it's not an earthquake, but the press box here is moving.
It is moving.
We apologize for the shaky shot, but there's nothing Kathy Valeri and the camera upstairs can do about that. The press box is moving.
44.
Rockets come trips to the near side. Aiello is the lone running back. From the 45. Pizzotti comes underneath to Prado, who will have the first down at the 50-yard line.
Pizzotti's pass complete for number 17. Prado.
Well, here's that particular play was an example of what we were talking about with the Rockets on offense. They come with trips to the near side, and as we also mentioned when we highlighted the defense for Stoneham, we said that they're going to close fast to that football, and that's exactly what we saw.
It'll be first down, Rockets.
Prado's first catch of the day. He's the leading receiver for the Rockets. Now 18 catches on the year, had over 270 yards, about 16 yards per catch. First and 10 ball just inside midfield. Marshall on the toss with a flag on the play. Taken down by Del Greco at the Stoneham 45-yard line. Now, if we go by where the flag was thrown, it was thrown to the Stoneham side of the field. We may have an offside call coming up against the Spartans. We'll have to check that out.
See if somebody jumped or if somebody may have lined up in the neutral zone.
Offside call against the Spartans, and I think that Tom Kasperzak will take this penalty. Will take the 5 yards and still be first down. We haven't talked a lot about the two coaches in this one, but Tom Kasperzak, a lot of people know his name from Stoneham years. In his 4th season at Reading, Al Laney has been in Stoneham for over 20 years. His 4th season as a member of the Spartans, as the head coach, I should say, of the Spartans.
Again, the Rockets change up position, formation.
Twins to the top of the screen. Irvine, the tight end, near side. Wilson gets the carry on first and 5. Will get a couple of yards. Jim Delegata, number 53, right side defensive end there on the stop.
I think the key to any successful offense is to try to get in a position where you face a second down with 5 or less yards to go. And so far, Reading has, at least in the first opportunity they ran the ball, prior to the penalty, they did get 5 yards in the first carry. Be interesting to see how much they can get now on the ground.
It's second down and 3. The ball inside the 45 at about the 43-yard line. Nolan split near side. Frano top of the screen. Marshall, the fullback this time, banging his way inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. John O'Donnell. Skip Carino there on the stop.
Skip Carino.
Little quick opener with a trap block. And just knocked the defender out of the hole, and the running back, Jeff Marshall, was able to run behind the block and gain substantial yardage.
A little switch there. Marshall playing the fullback spot, a spot you usually find Nick Aiello with Wilson as a tailback. I go back to something that was written in the Times Chronicle supplement this week where Kasperzak said maybe Jeff is more of a fullback type, but he's been running so well from tailback. Maybe Tom was giving us a preview of something he was doing here today. 2 tight ends for the Rockets, split backfield. Wilson to the corner.
Number 30,
inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. Tim Sullivan over there on the stop for the Spartans.
58 on the stop for the Spartans.
For the Spartans, it appeared as though Skip Carino might have had a shot of killing that play before it actually got going, but he just looked like he was a little surprised with a quick pitch and stumbled just a little bit, and it took him a second to react and get back in the play. But Wilson is a speed back. There's no doubt about it.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go here in period number 1 from Spartan Field in Stoneham. The Rockets and the Spartans, no score. Reading on the march, ball at the 28-yard line. Marshall straight ahead, big hole. Taken down at the 21-yard line. John O'Donnell, number 20, there on the stop.
I'm a little surprised. It's one thing to get 4 or 5 yards, but I'm a little surprised that play was so successful, especially when they're getting now down towards that red zone. And the Rockets right now have got everything kind of going in their way. And we'll see how quickly Spartans can bounce back and stiffen a little bit on defense.
Al Laney says they've been very tough inside the red zone all season. We'll see if the Spartans can make a stand here. The Rockets took over just inside their own territory. And here's the toss to the near side with Wilson. Got a good block in the corner. Inside the 15. And down to about the 12-yard line, Joe Meal, number 52, the inside linebacker there on the stop.
Well, a combination of a good lead block and then second and third effort by the ball carrier gaining that yardage. Again, the Rockets have been able to run that quick opener and, that trap block over the middle of the fullback, and now they come to the outside.
Cliff, you're a little surprised at the way they're doing it. We talked a little at the top about maybe some misdirection plays.
Yes.
We haven't seen any of that. It's been mostly straight ahead, and then when they start to come inside, you pop one to the corner.
I guess there's a couple of ways of looking at it.
2 tight end sets, divide backfield for the Rockets. Marshall, nothing there this time. Mark Brown, the big tackle there on the stop. 6'1", 225-pound defensive tackle right there.
I guess there's a couple of ways of looking at it, Mike. As an offensive coach, if you come up against a tough defense, I guess one opportunity might be to run at them, make them react to the ball. And the other one would be to try to use your speed and misdirection in order to kind of trick them a little bit.
Nick Aiello checks back into the lineup for the Rockets. Jeff Marshall will check out We'll see Aiello at fullback, Wilson at tailback. The ball sits at the 13-yard line. It's third down and about 2. Pizzotti on the quarterback keeper. It looks like he'll have the first down at about the 10-yard line. We'll have to see if the Reading Rockets can pick up another first down before they get into the end zone. 1:02 left in the first period.
Well, so far we've seen one pass play. And if the ball stays on the ground, it's going to be a fast Thanksgiving Day game. And both teams have got ground games that they probably have some faith in.
The fans might like that. It is very cold here at Spartan Field. Fortunately, we are in the booth here in Stoneham instead of in the back row. And
very large, comfortable booth, I might add.
Marshall with the toss, has the corner. And Stoneham closed very quickly. Del Greco, number 34, Delgado, 53, came up very quickly. It looks like he had the corner turned at first. Clip.
Well, Burbine, 82, had a pretty good block at the line of scrimmage, and then it just seemed as the further Marshall got out towards the sideline, that's when the Storm's speed was able to, they were able to capitalize on the speed and a quick read and get to the outside and basically hold them to a surprisingly small amount of yardage.
Pickup of just 1 on first down, second down and 9. Pizzotti back to throw, on the roll, fires, has Burbine. Incomplete. It was waiting for a signal. Had Burbine in the end zone, but Brian just could not hold on. Nice delivery by the junior quarterback Pizzotti, but it goes incomplete.
Well, one of the earlier plays in this drive, as you had said earlier, they took over in their own territory. They ran a pass play early in the drive. They run the ball on the ground, and now they come back and they throw a ball into the end zone, and kind of a juggling act there for Brian trying to get in with a defender on his back. And that's it. Maybe rather than misdirection, maybe that's their changeup. They're going to run a pass play rather than a running play.
We have come to the end of the first quarter here at Spartan Field in Stoneham. The Rockets and the Spartans in the scoreless tie. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us on the local cable sports game of the week. The Reading Rockets have a third down and 9 as we start the second quarter. The ball at the 9-yard line. 3 wide receivers for the Rockets. Pizzotti back to throw, has the screen set up. Burbine with a convoy in front. Denied to the goal line. He got taken down just short of the end zone. John O'Donnell was there on the stop.
He's in close. They could actually, it looks like they could actually make a first down. Just, and now they're gonna. It looks like they're gonna measure for that first down. I think they've got a first down.
Brian Burbine, the big tight end. We've talked about this off camera. But we've got 2 of the 3 best tight ends in the league in this game. Fisher, Burbine. Of course, we have to put in Mr. McGowan from Burlington. He's an outstanding player, but we have a matchup of Fisher and Burbine as they bring the sticks on to see if it is a first down. And it is for the Rockets, so they will have 4 cracks from inside the 1 to strike first here on Thanksgiving Day.
This is quite a task for any defense. Stoneham rated number 3 in the league overall in defense, so that they got quite a task here, and it's going to be a challenge. It'd be interesting to see now whether or not the Rockets want to run at them, or whether they want to try. They haven't run any misdirection yet. Maybe this is the time you pull it out of the bag of tricks.
I may have a guess if Dave Pizzotti's going to handle this one. Nope, they're going to go to Marshall right side. Touchdown, Rockets.
Touchdown, Reading.
Behind a nice block by Nick Aiello, number 41.
For the Rockets. Reading leads 6-0.
So that drive, Michael, other than 2 passing plays, everything was accomplished on the ground.
The Rockets' offensive line doing a pretty good job against the Stoneham defense. As we said, they allow only 12 points per game. John Mahoney, number 15, the junior, is on for the extra point out of the hold of Mike Lahane. Snap down. Kick is up, and it is no good.
It's no good. Reading lead 6-0.
Part of the game that they've had some difficulty with and have experimented with throughout the season. They just difficult. Sometimes you've got kickers that come in for a couple of years, and then a fellow graduates, and then as it's been this season, it's taken almost literally the entire season to find someone with some consistency in order to kick the ball.
Tom Kasperzak says they kick well in practice. Everything works in concert.
I've seen them in practice. I agree with it. I've seen it myself. They do kick well in practice.
They have had a lot of difficulty kicking extra points during the season. So the Rockets strike first with 9:16 left in the first half. They are on top 6-0. Mike Lehane again will kick it off for the Rockets. Stoneham will send number 10, Tom Adams, back as their deep man, along with Haggerty, number 47, to the near side, and DeShano, number 7, to the far side.
Adams, Donald, Haggerty, deep ball, Donald.
Again, they'll kick it on the ground. O'Donnell had his knee down as he picked up the ball at the 27 or 28-yard line. And that's where Stoneham will pick it up. And Cliff, I want to go back to something you said about first down when you're talking about the Rockets offense. I will say this. It is more important for Stoneham to be effective on first down than it is for Reading, simply because the ability to throw the football is better for the Rockets than it is for the Spartans.
That's an excellent point. An excellent point. That's why I was looking the first time Stoneham had the ball, concentrating to see what the defensive responsibilities were. In the end, seemed to be out there trying to contain, which is what I would have expected. So far, they've been successful keeping Lockhart in the inside.
They go toss to Lockhart, looking to cut back. And it'll be stacked up. It looks like they'll be knocked down for about a 1-yard loss.
Now, Burbine in on the tackle at time, but
Mike Horvath,
Nate
stop for Reading.
For the Rockets, number 84, Nate O'Keefe, defensive end. He wasn't involved in the play, but he was on the outside. And you saw Lockhart started going to the outside, and he hesitated because he saw that the troops were already out there, and he tried to cut back. And that's going to be a key as the game develops. The Rockets are going to have to be careful he doesn't cut back on them.
Burbine and Horvath combined on the last stop. No gain on the play. Deerstein rather, back to throw. And it looks like it is complete to number 10, Tom Adams, on a quick little hookup.
Deerstein pass complete to number
I'm surprised he was able to get the ball over Horvath and Burbine, each of whom jumped that time. But I actually thought the ball might have taken a short hop there, but obviously he made a nice catch.
Adams, the senior wide receiver at 5'11", 155-pounder, also plays corner for the Spartans. Picked up 4 on second down. Will bring up a 3rd and 6. The ball 6
down, 5,
at the 33-yard line. Lockhart.
He's having some trouble with his footing. He slipped that time, too.
That's the second time that Lockhart has had trouble getting started. The gain will bring the ball out to about the 36-yard line. Will bring up a 4th down, and the punt team checks in for Stoneham. One thing the Rockets have to be leery of, Cliff, is the fake punt. We saw it last year in the Thanksgiving Day game where Pete Fisher popped one out to a wide receiver who went the whole route for Stoneham's only touchdown. In week 9 against Woburn, Stoneham also had the fake punt. And Fisher hit one of his wide receivers, but the Rockets seem to be aware of what's going on here as Fisher receives a snap. This one will tumble down at about the 35. Was touched by the Spartans, and the ball will go back to where the Spartans were originally touched.
You see that ball there, you're liable to give it a little tap and say, well, I'll try to pick up a couple of more yards. It doesn't work that way. Once you've made contact with the ball is dead at that point.
One thing for people to note, if the offensive player happens to pick up that ball and fumble it, the ball will return to the original spot where the ball was touched. So Reading could not lose the ball on that play if the ball was touched.
Given certain situations, it might behoove you to make an opportunity to pick it up and run with it.
Take a shot at it. Well, the Rockets have their second possession of the football game. They'll start from their own 36-yard line with 7:12 left here in the first half of play. We're expecting a high-scoring football game with 2 pretty good offenses, and so far, Stoneham has not been able to get on track, but the Rockets are 1 for 1 on the afternoon. Marshall, big hole up the middle.
Jeff Marshall,
To the 39-yard line. Joe Meal is at the bottom of the pile for the Stoneham Spartans.
For Stoneham.
The defense, as we had alluded to during our open, in my estimation, is highlighted by Joe Meal as one of the middle linebackers, but also Pac McDonald and Dom Domoretsky and also Skip Carino. They are definitely, I know you mentioned the names, but they're definitely outstanding linebackers.
Down, 38 for Reading.
2nd and 7, split backs for the Rockets, 2 tight end set. Aiello straight ahead. Nick moves the pile out to about the 44-yard line.
So they're going to face 3rd down and probably about 2.5 to 3 yards.
The linebackers there on the stop as Pete Fisher is slow to get up. It looked like he may have injured an ankle in the first period. He hobbled a little bit on the incompletion to Burbine. We'll keep an eye on him. He's a very important two-way player for the Spartans.
One of several multiple sport stars on the football team here.
Ball to 43.
3rd and 2. Here's Wilson. And it looks like he's going to be short. John O'Donnell came up from the secondary and made a terrific play as Eric Wilson was about to pick up the first down.
John O'Donnell.
Quick reaction and they're fast to the football. That's what we highlighted during our opening. We've said that several times already. We're probably going to say it again throughout the game. That Stoneham defense, one guy gets in and makes initial contact, and then everybody else joins in. And if you don't get it through that first surge as a running back, it's going to be very difficult. No matter how much second effort you give, it's going to be very difficult to get a first down if you don't get it on the initial contact.
Decision time for Tom Kasperzak. 4th and less than a yard in their own territory, and Kasperzak sends in the punting team. Dave Pizzani will be in punt formation for the Rockets.
And be kicking into the teeth of a very, very strong wind.
Stoneham playing fake here because Pizzani is the quarterback and the punter. Tom Adams now will fade back into single safety. And it is a fake. Mahoney, the up back, and I don't know. I don't think he got it, Cliff. We're looking right down the line here, and based on where the sign official coming in and putting his foot down, I don't think he has it.
I don't think so either. When the ball carriers hit the ground, they're going to take a timeout and they're going to measure it. But when the ball carrier hits the ground, they bounce a little bit. And it really depends upon how quick the official gets in there and gets the right spot. And if he gets the benefit of that's why we say maybe he gets a good spot or a bad spot. And if he got a good spot, he might have it. But it's have to be a real good spot in my mind. I think he's short by about a half a football.
The chains are on, and we will see. And it looks like he is short by just about that.
Over the 46-yard line.
They tried the fake. John Mahoney was denied. Stoneham aware of the fake possibility.
Historically, Thanksgiving Day games are the day that you give, it's the last game of the year. That's the one you're going for. You give it your best shot. And I'm sure that both the Rockets and the Spartans probably have a few tricks in the bag that they haven't. So a little bit short. Again, good defensive response.
See if the Spartans will pick up the momentum. 1st and 10 from the 46. Lockhart. Big hole.
Eric Lockhart.
Taken down by Fratto right as he was about to rip off something very big. He's taken down at the 40-yard line. First big play for Eric Lockhart.
To take him through the line of scrimmage. If he gets to where the linebackers normally are seated, if he gets there, that's where he's going to make his bounce. He's going to bounce to the outside, or he's going to keep on going straight. And he caught him just before he made his bounce.
2 wide receivers, wing back to the far side. Lockhart again.
Lockhart, number 1, the ball carrier for Stoneham.
Taken down at about the 35-yard line, make it back at the 36-yard line. He'll be close to a first down. It looks like it's going to be 3rd and short.
As was outlined in the excellent supplement that was published by the Reading and the Stoneham papers. Little story about Mr. Lockhart insofar as he was ineligible last year. Coaches apparently talked to him in the offseason, explained to him as the season went along he's going to get the ball more often, and he's really grown into be an excellent ball carrier.
3rd and short. Deerstein on the quarterback sneak will pick up the first down.
On the keeper.
Ball will be inside the 35 at about the 34-yard line. 4 minutes and 7 seconds left in the first half. The Rockets are on top of this one, 6-0. But the Spartans, after holding on 4th and short, they were right on the fake punt by the Rockets, picked up the ball at their own 40, at the Rocket 46, I should say, and have turned it in to a first down. And it looks like Eric Lockhart is getting his feet under him for the first time in this football game. Lockhart again, coming near side.
Number 1, Eric Lockhart.
Inside the 30 to about the 29-yard line.
Aiello and Fratto in there on the tackle. Aiello did a nice job to get outside from his linebacker spot. You can see where Lockhart is. He's definitely getting some momentum going, and he's starting to chug a little bit, and that's dangerous for the Rockets.
Stoneham going with the no-huddle offense. They'll go right to the line of scrimmage. Fisher to the near side. Now he will reset, and they will go unbalanced to the top of the screen. Lockhart goes that way, breaks one tackle, and will spit her down at about the 22-yard line. He ran through the tackle of Delson Grubbs, who came on the linebacker blitz, but Lockhart able to pick up the first down.
When they run this power I formation, it's reasonable to assume that as a tailback, he's going to follow the blocking back, so that when they go power I here to the left, presumably they're going to run the ball off left tackle.
Do they go power I right in this formation? Let's see if they go right, and that they do. Lockhart taken down. Ryan Burbine, one of the tri-captains for the Rockets, right there to make the play. A loss of 2 back to the 25-yard line. It will be 2nd and 12.
Well, on that particular offense, you would expect that the defensive ends are the ones that are going to make that play. Tackle's going to have people head up. The end is he's got to shuck one block, and then he's in the backfield. And actually, the ball carrier is running at him, so he should make the play.
2.5 left here in the first half. Stoneham trailing in this one 6-0. They have a 2nd and 12. Appalachia split to the bottom of the screen. Lockhart on the toss, looking for the corner. Stacked up by Delson Grubbs, who fought off one block to make the play.
The ball carrier.
And Lockhart was knocked out of bounds. We'll see if they're going to mark him out. And it looks like about the 31-yard line.
You take a look on these future plays now, watching the defense. When you see the defensive players with their man, and they got the hands up, and it almost looks like they're dancing, but they're shuffling to the outside. That's what's going to cut down this running game for Stoneham. But again, as I say, the problem then is if you commit yourself too much to the outside where the play looks like it's going to go initially, you are susceptible to a cutback run. So, it might well be that they want to keep somebody home away from the play on the other side of the field.
2-minute warning here from Spartan Field. A very fast-moving first half of football because both teams, as Cliff has said, have kept the ball on the ground. Getting back to what you said about Eric Lockhart and his cutback ability, Tom Kastazak said in the Times Chronicle, we've spent a lot of time looking at the Stoneham running game. The Rockets have kept outstanding leverage all day, taking away the cutback lane. We've seen on a couple occasions Lockhart get to the corner and look as if he doesn't know where to go because the Rockets have pursued well, but also kept leverage.
Yeah. Well, the situation is, I'll continue the thought after this play, Mike.
All right, Cliff.
Okay, thanks.
3rd down and 1 for Stoneham. 3rd and about 15. Johnson split to the near side. Lockhart is the deep man in the eye. Fisher tight end to the top of the screen. Option. Here's Del Greco. Taken down by Jeff Marshall, one of the inside linebackers. He gets back about to the original line of scrimmage. It will bring up 4th down. And we have an official timeout on the field.
To get back to the thought about no matter who the ball carrier is, but in the case of play before last, so far as Eric Lockhart's run was concerned, he got to the outside. He could see the Reading pursuit was going to the outside. The coaches always say, break the play to the outside. Once you get in the open, break the outside and run down the sideline. Well, in theory, that's a good idea, except what happens is when the closer you get to the sideline, the less area you have to work in. The sideline now almost becomes like a defensive player, so actually they box you in along the sideline. That's kind of, I think he understood that that's what they were trying to do, but there was no way for him to get out of that play. That's why you see a play like that hesitate, because they realize what the defense is trying to do. They realize there's no place to go.
Stoneham High School cheerleaders have had an awful lot to cheer about this season. Stoneham comes in at 6-2. They are the co-leaders in the Middlesex League along with Melrose. And everybody here was talking, how do we get word from Wakefield about this Wakefield and Melrose game? Some people looking for portable phones. We'll try to do something for you at halftime. We don't know if we'll be able to get word from Wakefield. Melrose lost, a Stoneham win, and the Spartans would be the representative in the Super Bowl. If both teams win today, Stoneham would share the title, but Melrose, because they beat Stoneham head-to-head, would go to the Super Bowl. We talked about the Rockets scenario. The Rocket fans have to have 3 eyes today. One here, one in Melrose, one in Lexington. Keep an idea of what their Rockets are going to be doing.
You have to have a flip phone in each hand, I think, to take care of this scenario.
4th and 10. Back to throw.
Whoa.
And it was sacked from the blind side. Matt Ray, number 64.
For number 64.
The play was made by Mike LaHaye, number 10, on the cornerback blitz. Made Deerstein step up, and then Ray was there to make the sack.
Yeah, that was defense just kind of outguessing the offense, if you will, on that particular play. Nice job. Very nice job. First time we've seen the blitz come from the outside for Reading this so far in the game. Of course, we haven't seen the ball up the air that much. There hasn't been that much opportunity.
The Rockets hold after the Spartans defense held in Reading territory, and inside of 2 minutes, about a minute and a half left here in the first half. Reading will take over. And for those of you who have not been to Stoneham High School this season, yeah, they moved the clock, so we have to keep kicking around the corner here. It used to be on the other side of the field, if I remember correctly. And I'm told from one of the press box pages that I am correct. Mark Brown was there on the stop.
Michael Gary.
One of the pages? One of the pages. Mark Brown made the last play in case anyone was wondering what happened. Jeff Marshall.
Sorry.
Jeff Marshall, the tailback. Get back to the game.
I'm back to the game.
Was the carrier for the Rockets. Stoneham takes a timeout, their second of the morning. We haven't talked a lot about this series. There's certain games that we all remember. Walking into the stadium today, people say, make sure you mention the 88 game, the 7-7 tie, the last time Stoneham had a chance to win the title. Derek Watkins with a 90-yard touchdown run, Brian Hilliard with a 75-yard touchdown run, and then nobody scored for the rest of the game. That all took place in the first quarter. The 86 game, where Tom McNeil had, 300-some-odd yards rushing.
Yeah, John and I are announcing the game in Reading. No, excuse me, it was here. We're announcing the game, and we're talking about this fellow doing a real good job, doing an excellent job. Well, little did we realize the guy is running for like 313 yards or 303 yards or whatever it was. But he's one of really, several excellent backs they've had over the last couple of 3 years.
Reading second down.
On 2nd and 9, the ball is at Reading 38-yard line. Option, the ball comes loose. Did the Spartans come up with it? It looks like they did. Jim Delgado, the defensive end, right there to make the play.
Always one of those things that can go wrong when you run the option. It's a lot easier, a lot safer maybe to have a direct handoff. When you get into the option play, when you start flipping those laterals and those pitches, there's just a lot of things that can go wrong. And unfortunately for the Rockets, to the benefit, or for the benefit of Stoneham, that was one of those situations where maybe a pitch a little bit behind the runner, I'm not quite sure, but difficulty controlling the ball, and the defender was right on the spot.
10th turnover of the season for the Rockets. Stoneham right back in the door now with the ball at the 29-yard line, 1:24 to go. Here's Lockhart coming to the near side. They'll try to cut it back. Still breaking tackles. And finally will be stacked up by just about everybody on the Rockets defense.
Eric Lockhart.
Everybody in the field hit him except the officials, I think, in that particular play. It was outstanding effort on his part. But again, we did see what his first attempt at maybe really making an obvious cutback.
He did pick up 3 yards after all that. The ball will be at the 25-yard line. Another timeout on the field. I believe the Spartans have burned their third timeout of the morning. 1:09 left on the scoreboard clock here in the first half. Reading in the lead, 6-0. Jeff Marshall scored on a 1-yard run just as we started the second quarter of play. The extra point was no good, and that's where we stand in this football game. 2 wide receivers now. Del Greco, top of the screen. Johnson, bottom of the screen. Lockhart is the deep man in the eye. And they look for Fisher on a quick pop, and he took a pop. Greg Fratto, the strong safety, there on the play. Fisher taken down at the 18-yard line. He will be close to a first down.
We're talking a little bit about the Reading defense statistically. So far as Reading is concerned, on the ground this year, on a per-game average, they only give up about 129 yards a game. But so far as Eric Lockhart's concerned, he's averaging just under 154 yards a game. And if you throw in Matt Fusco's statistics, just for good measure, they actually average 210 yards a game on the ground. That is just between those two particular ball carriers.
You talk about the importance of Eric Lockhart in this football game. Well, he carries the ball about 20 yards a game. As you said, 153, 154 yards rushing. 63% of the carries belong to Eric Lockhart. 69% of the yards on the ground belong to Eric Lockhart. So if you stop him, you take away a very big part of the Stoneham offense. The clock has been adjusted. 40 seconds left in the first half. And they're going to further adjust the clock. It looks like the ball is at the 18-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Spartans as they huddle around 4th-year coach Al Lanny, who sends his team back onto the field. Al had the opportunity to talk with us last week, and he said that he's never beaten Tom Kasperzak as the head coach of the Reading Rockets, and I think he's looking for this to be the first season.
Yeah, it's a friendly rivalry. Of course, on the game day, no rivalry is a friendly rivalry. Oh, they are after the game's over. But
two wide receivers split to the near side. That's Johnson and Del Greco. Lockhart on the toss. Breaking tackles. And finally dragged down by...
The Spartans, baby! We're the excellence of execution! And don't you ever forget it!
the thing of the play was they kept him in bounds.
Now the Spartans will take another timeout. 56 seconds, and we'll see if they readjust the clock at this point.
And they're going to be facing the 2nd down and about 5 yards to go for the 1st down. So offensively, I mean, obviously it's a 4-down situation, but under any circumstances, they're in real good shape with 2nd and 5.
Spartans are out of timeouts. Now 50 seconds is the official time on the scoreboard clock. One thing to keep in mind here for people watching at home, Stoneham does have a very good kicker in Jeremy Sylvester. With the wind at his back, he may be able to knock one in if the Spartans get into a field goal situation. The only problem is, without a timeout, they'll have to hurry the field goal unit onto the field potentially. They have a 2nd down and about 5.
The interesting thing is if they get to that point where they kick the ball, if they get into a kicking game, you have to understand that at this point, Reading's kicking game is a suspect. And that obviously would be detrimental to Reading.
Twin receivers to the top of the screen.
5 from the 13 for Stoneham.
Throw the 2nd man.
Underneath to Del Greco at the 5. Inside the 5, they'll have a 1st down.
To number 34.
Greg Fratto there on the stop. They will stop the clock to move the chains.
Rattle on the stop for Reading.
Spartans quickly to the line of scrimmage. We'll see if they just spike it.
No, wait. Doesn't say it. How many seconds left, Rick?
The clock running, the ball at the 5-yard line, and they spike it to stop the clock.
Sorry, I stepped away there. I was trying to get a little bit better view of the clock to see how much time was left on it. I got this blank wall to my right, and so I look to the right and I see like nails. Well, the Rockets obviously facing their most difficult situation so far in the game. And if it goes back to that play, running the option play, where that unfortunate fumble occurred.
We talked about the Rockets' defense at the top. They're a bend but don't break. They do give up a lot of yardage during the course of the season, but here's an example. So far, Stoneham has made a nice drive. Will they get into the end zone? We'll see. There are 31 seconds left in the first half.
2nd down.
On the 4-yard line, Lockhart looking for the corner. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown, Spartans.
Almost appeared as though he was going to be tackled for a 1 or 2 yard loss, but he has the strength to break that initial tackle, and once he regains his balance, he's awfully tough when he gets into that secondary to bring down, especially when he's at the 5-yard line.
Tough to bring down one-on-one as the Spartans go to the extra point. Jeremy Sylvester, number 41. I'm looking for him in the lineup. And there he is. I wasn't sure if the Spartans were going to go for 2.
41 lines up with a point after for the spot.
Sylvester out of the hold of Deerstein and some movement along the line of scrimmage.
Well, the movement didn't look right.
That's why you're the analyst, Cliff. You picked that right up.
Well, as soon as they throw that yellow thing, I realize that's when bad things happen.
Offside called against the Rockets.
They'll move the ball a yard and a half from the 3 up to the 1.5-yard line, and maybe Al Laney has ideas of going for 2, and it looks like he'll keep Sylvester in the lineup and trying to go for the sure point.
Well, when you have the quarterback as a holder, there's a lot of opportunities that are there.
Snap is high. And again, the play was dead before the snap. Flags on the play once again, and again, the Rockets look like they are offside. And once again, I'll say, do you go for 2 at this point? You're going to get another half the distance penalty.
I tell you, I think I have a tendency to
Offside, the call against Ready.
put my big running back in, which is exactly what's happening, and try to tuck one in for 2 points.
Well, you are on the same wavelength as head coach Al Laney. A couple of offside penalties against the Rockets.
I mean, about the only good thing is the penalty can never put the ball in the end zone. But you get close enough, like Al's done now. He's reconsidered. He's going to try to put one in for 2 points.
24 seconds left in the first half. Stoneham going for 2 points. Lockhart, no surprise, left side, touchdown. Excuse me, make that a 2-point conversion.
Well, they were so close to the goal line. There was certainly not a situation where there's no chance to stop him, but it would have taken outstanding defensive play, and he's already shown that he has to be hit by probably more than 2 people at the same time in order to stop the momentum and drive him back. And that was the only way you're going to stop the extra point, is to actually stop him in his tracks and drive him backwards, because like just then, he got to the line of scrimmage. All he had to do was fall down. He was in the end zone.
The Spartans hop on top 8-6. 24 seconds left in the first half. Lockhart with a 4-yard run, and then Lockhart with the 2-point conversion. We talked about the Rockets defense being opportunistic. Well, the Stoneham defense opportunistic. The Rockets making a mistake on the option. The ball came loose. Delegata picked up the fumble. And from there, Stoneham able to knock in their first touchdown of the 94 Thanksgiving Day game. We are winding down in the first half. And a big momentum boost, obviously, Cliff, for the Spartans going in the locker room.
Absolutely. It's very difficult at halftime. A cold day like this, there's probably going to be a slightly extended halftime because the bands are performing on Thanksgiving and so forth. It's going to be a challenge for the Rockets staff to kind of pump up their guys a little bit.
Jeremy Sylvestre has it up on the tee. Eric Wilson, 32. Chris Smith, 25. The return men for the Rockets. Ball comes near side, and it will skip over the sideline out of bounds.
Now, having said that about the Rockets coaching staff trying to get the guys up at halftime, remember that Stoneham received to begin the game. So the Rockets are going to start the second half with the ball. So it's one of those, is that scenario that always presents itself. You know, the next touchdown is going to be very, very important. If the Rockets can do something positive the first time they get the ball in the third, then all of this stuff happening just before halftime kind of gets erased a little bit. Can't take it off the board, but it kind of, in your mind, it gets erased. So, you know, the game is far from over. We've got a half of football left, and it's going to be a great game, I'm sure.
The last minute and a half or 2 minutes here sort of bogged down a little bit, taking some time to get this last portion of the game played. 2 penalties by the Rockets on the extra point. Now Sylvestre kicks this one out of bounds, so we've kind of gotten to a lull in this Thanksgiving Day game as Sylvestre puts it back up on the tee, and the Rockets will receive as Stoneham had to move back 5 yards to the 35-yard line. Ground ball will be followed on by Mike Gillis, one of the up men, at the 33-yard line.
By Mike Gillis.
I think there might be a temptation. Some people may have a temptation to try to do something quick to make something happen. I think at this point, where Reading is going to have the ball to start the second half, I think what they'd want to do is just be careful of the ball. Let's don't give them any more turnovers in this half. There's not that much time left, but let's don't do anything stupid. We'll talk, we'll regroup at halftime, we'll come back, and we'll do something to start the second half. I think that's what I would do if I was a coach.
Remember, the Rockets are working into the teeth of a pretty stiff wind on this cold and blustery Thanksgiving morning. They go with 3 wide receivers. Marshall is the lone setback.
That was about the only trickery you might try to do with some sort of reverse. You're not going to put the ball up in the air. But all in all, first half, pretty good game, I think, today.
Pretty much what we expected.
Yeah.
A couple of good running games. Pizzani, the ability to throw the ball, came underneath a few times, but basically what we expected. Two good defenses, two good offenses. We go to halftime. The Stoneham Spartans lead this one 8-6. We're going to take a break. Half action to start up between the Reading Rockets and the Stoneham Spartans. This is the 82nd meeting in this series. The Thanksgiving series started in 1935. The Rockets lead that series 42-13. There have been 4 ties on Thanksgiving Day. Stoneham on top 8-6 as Jeremy Sylvester has it up on the tee. Chris Smith and Eric Wilson back deep to receive for the Rockets. We'll get Cliff's thoughts on what needs to be done here in the second half by both football teams right after this as Wilson handles it at about the 10. 20. And took a pop at the 21-yard line. Number 15, Luke Cunningham, or was that Domoretsky? It looked like Cunningham with a pop on Eric Wilson. Wow.
Boy, that was a stick, wasn't it? Man's trying to run to the sideline and trying to find his alley up the sideline and get some more yardage, and all of a sudden he's met at the corner by a fast-moving object. that was quite a stick.
If you're Tom Kasperzak, Cliff, what's the game plan here in the second half?
Well, I would think you want to go back and do more of the stuff that's been successful for you in the first half. To go with that power stuff and that trap play to the fullback that seems to have been quite effective.
2 tight ends. Dave Pizzani is your quarterback. Marshall, Yellow are the running backs. Here's Marshall, big hole. Over the 25, excuse me, the 25 to the 27-yard line. Joe Neal, the inside linebacker there on the side.
Now, he was lined up a little bit further out. It was almost in a wing position, and so that might be some of that counter stuff that maybe Reading has decided that they wanted to save for the second half in order to compensate maybe for the speed to the ball that Stoneham's defense shows. We'll see if they can do that, if they do that more often.
Marshall picks up 9 yards on first down, bring up second in the yard. The ball just at the 30-yard line. Here is Marshall again with the first down to the 36-yard line. Skip Carino and John O'Donnell both there on the stop for the Spartans.
Now that time it's a power formation. You've got your tailback and you have, it's almost like a power I formation with everybody up. Everybody has their hands and knees rather than down the blocking positions. Gives them all a good look at where they're going to. And they get there and they just basically power their way through that hole, and Marshall just follows them right through.
First and 10 for the Rockets at the 35-yard line. Marshall, third time in a row. This time McDonald knifes in from the right side to shut it down. He might get back to the original line of scrimmage. Fine play by Pat McDonald, cornerback at 5'8" and 185 pounds.
Well, so far we've seen a couple of different formations already by Reading, so it looks like they're doing similar to what they did to start the first half. They showed us different formations, but in essence run some similar plays, similar type plays. I still advocate that they've got to come back and run that same stuff that they ran in the first half. That stuff being a Marshall, and Aiello had a couple of decent carries, but the bulk of the ball carrying was handled by Marshall.
Eric Wilson now is the tailback. Rockets go 3 wides. Nolan and Smith to the top of the screen. Flatto to the near side. Wilson with a nice hole. Over the 40 to the 42-yard line. John O'Donnell up from the secondary to make the stop for the Spartans.
You see what they did that time? They spread out. They go with a one-back offense. Well, the defense has to spread out a little bit, and consequently gives the blockers decent alleys. Gave the running back a decent alley too, and he gained himself a substantial amount of yardage here. Now it's third and about 3.5 or 4 yards.
Always coming into Thanksgiving Day, you have that extra few days to prepare some new wrinkles for the Stoneham defense in this case. And the Rockets using some new formation, stuff that we have not seen all season. Cliff and I have seen the Rockets on numerous occasions during the '94 year.
Yeah, Rockets call a timeout here.
Reading called timeout.
Something didn't appear right to Dave Pizzotti, so we elected to call a timeout rather than run maybe the wrong play against the wrong formation. He called a timeout, and they'll talk about it on the sidelines.
When we come back to action, it will be third and about 2. The ball at the 43-yard line of the Rockets. Stoneham leads in this football game 8-6. Reading got on top with 44 seconds gone in the second quarter. Jeff Marshall scored from 1 yard away. The extra point kick failed. Reading on top 6-0 at that point. Then the Spartans picked up a fumble inside Reading territory at about the 45-46 yard line. And Eric Lockhart scored from 5 yards away, basically on his own, as he broke a tackle at the corner and then kept his balance to sneak into the end zone. After 2 penalties by the Rockets on the extra points, Al Lanning decided to go for the 2-point conversion instead of kick the single. Eric Lockhart again, the man on the carry. He went in from about a yard away to make it 8-6, and that's where we stand in this football game, the 82nd meeting between the Rockets and the Spartans.
The Al Lanning, the head coach, had a lot of very, very nice things to say about his players. And not necessarily in particular, but also about Lockhart as a ball carrier, just matured so much.
Pizzotti back to throw, has Burbine open, and Bryan decided to cut it upfield before he had it, and he could not hold on. It goes as an incomplete pass. It will bring up 4th down.
No reason for that other than just trying to run before you get the ball. The situation is when a play like that occurs, whether you slip carrying the ball or you drop what maybe should be an obvious catch, you just got to shake it off, forget about it, and go on and do your business.
Dave Pizzotti back to punt for the Rockets. Adams back to receive. He waits at his own 22-yard line. Nice high kick by Pizzotti. Adams at the 22. Out to about the 31-yard line. Special teams tackle made by number 55, John Simons for the Rockets.
27, Brian Conti made the initial hit, and the ball carrier bounced off him, actually picked up an additional 4 or 5 yards.
7:05 to go in the third. Stoneham with their first possession of the second half. They lead in this one 8-6. If you're Al Lanning, what's up for the second half?
More of what we saw at the end of the second quarter, I would presume.
Lockhart is the deep man in the eye. Now Del Greco comes to the near side. Lockhart trying to cut it back in, was tripped up by Jeff Marshall, just short of the 35-yard line. Last week against Woburn, I sat with the Reading coaching staff as they watched the Woburn-Stoneham game, and they made one mention to me, and that is on first down, Stoneham will run toss, and most likely they will run toss to the bench side. And that has played out on several occasions here today. We'll keep an eye out for that for the rest of this half.
Second down from the 34 for the Spartans.
Second down, about 7. The Rockets come on the blitz, and here is Fusco up the middle.
Fusco, number 35.
First down for the Spartans. Greg Fratto on the stop for the Rockets.
Kind of broke through the hole and then it came right across towards the bench again. It's probably something positive to be said if your ball carriers, if you're the coach and your ball carriers are running towards you on the bench. I don't know if that's a psychological advantage or whether there's a real advantage to that, or whether it's just a coincidence.
Either way, it's worked.
It's worked.
It's worked all season for the Rockets, or the Spartans, rather. Here's Lockhart picking his way over the 45 to the 47-yard line. First down carry will net him about 4 yards. It'll bring up a second down and 6 with 5:55 left in the third period.
Seems like most of the success has been from tackle to tackle. Although on the touchdown run by Lockhart, he did bump it to the outside. He ran through a tackle and bumped it to the outside.
Second down, 6 on the 46.
Fisher is the move man. Lockhart the deep man in the eye. Here's Fusco straight ahead. Ran right over the top of one tackler into Reading territory to about the 48-yard line.
That defensive line for the Rockets have just got, they have to get more of a push. They have to establish themselves at the line of scrimmage. And right now, to the Spartans' advantage, they've established a push and they're off the ball together, and you can actually see them on the screen. They're pushing the Rocket defenders back from the line of scrimmage. And if they continue to do that, Reading is going to continue to have difficulty stopping this running game.
Timeout for measurement.
Mike Horvath made the last tackle for the Rockets. Timeout on the field. They'll bring the change in to see if Fusco did pick up the first down. Looks like he may be a tad short from where we are standing. That's about a tad, isn't it?
It looks like a tad to me. Maybe even a tad and a half.
Short of a first down.
I don't even want to comment on that.
Okay.
So we'll bring up
Third down. And about
third
1 point.
and about a yard,
From
less than a yard, I
40
should
yard
say,
line.
for the Spartans. Right side of the offensive line, Lally and Travassos doing a pretty solid job on this drive for the Spartans.
Jeff Deerstein on the keeper.
Deerstein again with the keeper, and he will pick up
Third
the
or
first
fourth
down.
time we've seen that play today.
And they go on the silent snap, as you mentioned, and nobody else on the line of scrimmage moving except for
Stoneham first down.
Jim Delegata and Deerstein, the quarterback.
And the whole key to that is when the center gets in his position with both hands on the ball, the corner comes up. Once he puts his hands up underneath to take the snap, once the center feels that, then he just snaps the ball and they go off.
Pete Fisher is split to the near side, and Del Greco is the wing. Here's Lockhart.
Again,
Up by Grubbs and Marshall. We have a flag down on the play.
Again, that play was aimed at the tackle, but you see once he sees resistance, he tries to pump it to the outside. But the Rockets are holding on for dear life, and that's what they've got to do. They've just got to surround him because he's so capable of taking off literally in almost any direction.
Holding call against the Spartans, and if I'm Tom Kasperzak, I may take this penalty, put him in the 1st and 20 situation. Again, we've mentioned the Spartans have only thrown 49 passes all season long, one of those by Pete Fisher. So this is a team you want to put in long yardage situations.
Yeah, and it's almost like a rule of thumb too. If you can get him for the biggie, take it. You know, it's like when you put points on the board, you don't normally take them off the scoreboard. Well, when you have a chance to sock it to him in a 10-yard penalty, you don't usually turn those down. It's an unusual circumstance when you don't take a penalty like that.
1st and 20 from the Spartan 33-yard line. Fisher is split to the near side.
Ball to 43.
Lockhart coming near side. Breaks a couple of tackles and is hit hard and knocked out of bounds.
Number 1.
Well, he ran through Burbine's tackle. Burbine had him for about a 3-yard loss in the offensive backfield, and then he ran through somebody else that came up from inside. He kind of pursued across, and he actually ended up picking up probably about, considering he should have been thrown for a 2 or 3 yard loss, he probably picked up about 10 yards more than he should have picked up.
49.
There was a gain of 6 on the last play by Lockhart as we have 4:20 to go in period number 3. The Spartans with a 2nd down and 14 from their own 49-yard line. Fisher now split wide to the top of the screen. Apalakis to the near side. Deerstein back to throw, and it was batted down. It looked like Bertuzzi, one of the tri-captains for the Rockets, got a par on that one.
Yep, there's a big opportunity for defensive linemen to do good things when a team that doesn't normally throw the ball, isn't kind of used to it, doesn't usually throw the ball, drops back like that, and Tooze just threw his hand up in the air as a good offensive lineman when he's rushing should try to kind of time it a little bit, throw his hands up in the air, and he was able to deflect that pass.
The Spartans working with a strong wind at their back here at Stoneham High School with Cliff Allen. I'm Mike Moscarello. Stoneham on top in this one, 8-6. The winner of the Middlesex League, whether it be the Spartans, the Rockets, or numerous other teams, will have the Acton-Bucksboro Colonials on the first Saturday in December in Acton-Bucksboro. Spartans back to throw. He will step up and has a lot of room, and the ball comes loose. And Deerstein able to hold on as Michaello was closing quickly. The ball will be at the 44-yard line of the Rockets, but it will bring up a 4th down.
Well, that play, unfortunately, could be a drive stopper in the sense that if he doesn't throw the ball, I think he's got the 1st down. Now, you know, for Reading it's a break. It's a bad break for Stoneham. And with or without the wind, I don't think you want to be doing anything foolish right now, so that's why they're probably going to kick the ball and try to play for field position. Although we saw it last year, you don't ever want to forget he has the capability of faking the kick and throwing the pass.
Fisher back to kick for the Spartans. Nice kick heading toward the corner. And it looks like he's buried the Rockets in their own territory. And we'll see where they're going to spot this one.
1 yard line.
Yeah, the referee is still signaling. The officials work together to line this up. The referee's in the middle of the field, signaling how far up the line to come, and he's now stopped him.
It looks like he's about the 9 or 8 yard line. So Fisher did his job.
Yeah.
Caution corner punt.
The official who's down there under the ball, he can't really get a perspective of where the ball went out. So what he does is he walks on the sideline, he looks to the referee who's in the middle of the field, signaling him when to stop.
Put in play at the 9.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Rockets at the 9 yard line with 3:26 left in period number 3. The Rockets trail in this one 8-6. And to set the scenario for you again, Stoneham with a win would be, at worst, co-champion of the Middlesex League. We've heard rumors about the Wakefield-Melrose team. None of them have been substantiated. If Melrose wins, they are also co-champs, but they go to the Super Bowl because they beat the Spartans head-to-head. There's Marshall trying the right side. Joe Meal, one of the inside linebackers there for the Spartans.
On the stop, Joe
Maybe a gain of 2 will be 2nd down and 8.
I think what the Rockets have to do is consider bringing, rather than go with flanker, taking the flanker out and bringing another running back. I think they've got to go with the power formations if they want to run successfully against the Spartan team, who seems to me defensively may have made some adjustments at halftime.
Tight formation for the Rockets. We'll see if they shift out of this, and they do. 2 wide receivers, Smith and Nolan, top of the screen. Burbine, the tight end, near side. Pizzotti on the keeper. And the Spartans stayed home, and Dave Pizzotti took a pretty good lick. Joe Meal, John O'Donnell there for Stoneham.
64.
Well, Meal is very, very capable of playing the ball sideline to sideline. And it's to his advantage to have other linebackers who are also good ball players, so you don't actually have to cover that much territory, but he's capable himself of running sideline to sideline. So you're going to assume Meal's going to be involved in the tackles.
Some pretty good linebackers in this league.
Yes, there are.
He is among the best.
Yes, he is.
3rd and 1 for the Rockets. 3rd and 6. Pizzotti to throw. Comes underneath the Burbine, and Brian got a hand on it, but could not control it. Good coverage by the Spartan secondary, John O'Donnell, right there.
That's been happening all season long, ever since the first game of the year. Burbine has usually received, a tug at the shirt at the line of scrimmage, and then usually pretty close coverage in the defensive secondary. So I was kind of interested to see that Smith was probably 10 yards further downfield, maybe 15 yards downfield, and he might have been the guy that may have been the go-to man in that particular pass pattern. Maybe we'll see him come back again with it.
Pizzotti back to kick, and he gets a nice kickoff considering he's just kicking into a strong wind. The ball will roll over the 45 to about the 47-yard line. The Spartans again have good field position to start their drive with 1:49 to go here in period number 3.
The Rockets are really, I think, at a point in the game where they got to figure out, what they really have to do. I kind of looked at it so far as this all kind of experimenting a little bit. I think they got to find, go back to the play that was getting them the yardage in the first half, and I haven't seen that yet. Maybe I missed it, but I haven't seen too much of the pulling guard yet trapping. I think that's what they got to do.
Spartans in the power formation. Del Greco, the wingback, to the near side. Here is Lockhart, and he gets taken down very quickly. Nose tackle Kenyon Davis, who, as we said at the top, missed a couple of weeks with an ankle sprain. He was really having an outstanding season. Quickness and speed to play linebacker, but the strength to play nose tackle.
Well, I think a saying that applies to baseball, we want to be strong up the middle. I think the same is the case on a football team in defense. Is you want to be strong, and he's among the quickest nose people in the league. And he's pretty good size.
Gain of 1 on the last play. The Rockets come blitz. Deerstein back to throw. Fires for Fisher, and was knocked away by Fratto.
That ball's up in the air about another 1.5 feet. Fisher's still going to be able to catch it with ease, and Fratto was going to have a chance to knock it down. But that was an excellent defensive play in that particular play.
3rd down.
Greg Fratto has become one of the better cover people and the better tacklers in the Rockets secondary. He has had an outstanding season. Pete Fisher is a young man who we haven't talked a lot about during this football game, but he's about as good as a prospect as you're going to find in the Middlesex League.
Yeah. There are some players year to year, season to season who shine, and he's clearly one of those. He's more than just a diamond in the rough. He's got talent and ability.
Fisher sets far side on 3rd and 9. Option Lockhart with a lot of room on the corner. Taken down by Pizzotti with some help from Grunt and Burbine. Did he pick up the first down? It's going to be very close.
Pizzotti and Burbine combined to make the stop for the Rockets.
If he didn't pick it up, it's going to be 4th and very short.
Timeout.
Left, AB, no, you. No, why you go here? Except the school.
It looks like they're going to bring the chains on. If he didn't pick it up, Cliff, as I was saying, it's going to be 4th and short. And if I'm Al Annie, I may just try to knock one in simply because there's less than a minute left here in the 4th quarter. You've got the wind at your back. You may want to take your shot here.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mike. I mean, he did the right thing the previous possession when he kicked for field position. Because we're shielded a little bit by the players on the sideline. Have to wait for the signal. It looks like he's short.
Yeah. He is short, and we'll see by just how much. By less than a football between the 36 and 37-yard line. Now, I know you're not a gambling man, Mr. Allen, but I'm going to keep an eye on Mr. Deerstein here, and I would say let's bet on the quarterback.
Well, they've already run it 3 or 4 times successfully. I would guess that's the play coming. Rockets would have to jam up the middle and just hope they can get off as soon as the ball snaps. Just keep an eye on the ball.
There it is, the quarterback sneak. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you something. Initial contact, I don't think he had it. His head buckled a little bit. I think he did get a surge forward. Then he got pushed backwards. So I don't know where they're going to, it's that spot, the important spot. I don't know where it's going to be spotted.
Mike Horvath made the penetration for the Rockets, and again, I'm assuming the chain gang will come on the field to look at this all-important measurement with 46 seconds left in the 3rd period.
Well, the assumption would be that anybody should be able to make that amount of yardage, since it was not that much yardage, especially when they've had a play that's run successfully several times. But the reaction and the way he got stopped, he just got stopped a lot quicker than I expected. Well, he lost yardage in the play.
The Rockets have held. Mike Horvath with a big play coming in from the left defensive end spot. Got great penetration and stopped Deerstein from picking up the first down on the quarterback sneak.
I can't find any fault with the play call. That was the play call. It's just good defense. As much as the Spartans needed maybe to put another one in the end zone, this would have been an ideal time to maybe take a shot at it once you got the first down. This could be a turning point in the ball game right here in favor of the Rockets.
46 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. The Rockets have just held. We'll see what Dave Pizzotti and the offense who are ready can come up with. They start from their own 37-yard line. They go 3 wide receivers, Burbine tight end near side. Pizzotti back to throw. Into trouble.
Got a flag here.
Fisher may have gotten a piece of a face mask as the Spartans sacked Dave Pizzotti, and we'll wait for the call from our referee.
Well, it's in an area where, yep, that's what it is.
Face mask, the call against Stoneham.
I'm looking at it's a matter of whether they're going to call it intentional or unintentional as to how much yardage there'll be in this particular play. But so far as Fisher's concerned, Peter was trying to kind of make up to the official afterwards. He had his hand on his shoulder and said, "Oh, gee, it was just a mistake." But certainly wasn't. Well, the Rockets may be just getting a break in this play, at least in my estimation.
This is the big one, the 15-yarder, and the Stoneham coaching staff, Al Laney and his assistants,
15-yard penalty.
a little hot at that call.
Well, I didn't think it was a big one
The
myself.
ball is the 49-yard line, Stoneham territory.
The Rockets in Stoneham territory at the 49. Again, 3 wide receivers set. Wilson is now your tailback for the Rockets. Wilson up the middle.
This is a trap block.
With some room, and was taken down as he was about to break a big one. Pat McDonald, number 42, may have made a touchdown-saving tackle.
First down, Reading.
Dan Aratusi, 54, pulled in that play, and I got to tell you something. You know, that particular play, he buried this guy. He just buried him. And again, I think that's what they're going to have to do is come back with more of those trap plays, because when they go head-on-head, one-on-one block, they aren't getting enough push against Stoneham to make the ground game go.
The Rockets will wait for the third quarter to run out so they can have the wind at their back in the fourth quarter of this Thanksgiving Day game. No scoring here in the third period as we head to quarter number 4. Spartans 8, the Rockets 6. We'll take a break. Please stay with us on the local cable sports game of the week. The fourth quarter of the 82nd meeting between the Rockets and the Stoneham Spartans. I'm Mike Moscarello. He's Cliff Allen. We are glad you're with us for what has been a very entertaining football game through 3 periods. The Rockets have a 1st and 10.
First down, Reading.
The ball is at the 38-yard line. So Dave Pizzotti back to throw. Going deep for Smith. He's got it. Touchdown Rockets, but we have a flag on the play on the far side, and it's coming back.
Penalty flag down.
The preliminary signal by the official on the far side of the field is an ineligible receiver, but we'll wait for the official call.
On the half.
You're right on it, Cliff. Ineligible receiver downfield. Now, we don't know if there was one of the linemen that went downfield or if someone was covered by a wide receiver at the line of scrimmage, if they had actually an illegal formation. So we'll have to keep an eye out and see if we can get a word on that.
Because a play like that was clearly passed all the way. Play action, yes, but wouldn't seem as though there would have been a play that would have linemen running downfield. I'm sure that's what the coaching staff's going to wonder when they look at the tape.
5-yard step off against the Rockets. We'll bring up a 1st and 15, but obviously that was the first big hitter to Chris Smith today, a guy for the Rockets who has been their deep threat throughout the course of this season.
Well, it cost them 40 yards and 6 points. That was a big penalty. Big penalty.
Well, maybe the Spartans are looking at it. Well, Reading caught a break on the face mask call, and Stoneham may have caught a break on this ineligible player downfield.
Of course, the call was made on the far side of the field, and we're all trying to look down the field, so we didn't see it at the time of occurrence.
1st and 15 for the Rockets. Pizzotti again back to throw. Looking for Burbine, a little too tall for the senior tight end. Tim O'Brien, number 11, was right there on the coverage. It will bring up 2nd and 15.
No, they didn't. It's an interesting thing. Somebody in the press box asked if they lost it down on that penalty. They didn't. The official did not give the signal, so it's simply an ineligible man. It's tough when the ball's thrown out to you, and whether it was a little too high or not, I'm not sure, but seemingly went through his hands. It's just tough. And I might remind everybody that we were saying that that's a guy who all season long has drawn very, very close coverage in the secondary, and Stoneham has done the same stuff that everybody else has tried to do, is put a guy right on him.
Burbine with 12 catches and 194 yards coming into this football game. Wilson on the draw with some room. Finally taken down by Adams, number 10, but Eric is inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. High school football in long yardage situations is such a down for screens and draws.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they give you wide formations, which spreads out the defense. And the last 2 plays, they just thrown passes. The fact that there were penalties as immature, they did throw some passes, in which now your defensive backs are thinking pass. Your linebackers are worried about defensive dropping into their zone coverage or whatever the coverage might be. So it's just, and what happens is if your offensive lineman can push the defensive lineman wide, it opens up that alley near the middle of the field, and that's why they're going to gain yardage.
We have an official timeout on the field. Once again, the chain gang, they've been getting a workout on Thanksgiving Day. They will eat well when they go home today. They will be back on the field for another measurement. The ball sits at about the 28-yard line.
Well, obviously the Rockets would like to have a first down here, but they won't be in bad, if they don't make it, they won't be in a bad situation with 3rd and short.
It will be third in inches, according to our official, but as we have seen earlier in this game, third in inches or fourth in inches does not mean automatically a first down.
I mean, if I hadn't seen the attempt that Stoneham made and being cut short, like on a 6-inch attempt or whatever it was, I would say this might be a down to go for it and then come back and go for it in the fourth down. But I think they got to go for it now to make the first down. Then think about the end zone.
Power I formation to the near side. O'Keefe Aiello in front of Jeff Marshall, and Pizzani will try his hand at the quarterback sneak.
Similar play. Let's see what the result is. It looked a little, it looked like it was a positive result, but we'll have to wait for the official.
We'll wait for them to umpire.
Yep.
We'll wait for the man in the white cap, the referee, to give us a signal on what's happening. And the Rockets have picked up a first down. Chris, just go back to a point you were making. A few years ago, third and short, even second and short, was that throwaway down, so to speak, where you try and pop one deep.
You go into the end zone.
I've seen that go away. I've seen it now that third and short, let's pick up what we consider the short first down.
It's
Keep
almost
the
like
momentum
it's almost
going.
like the first down to throwaway down.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Well, you know, there's good things to say about doing it both ways.
Especially in a high school game where you want to pick up
everything
the
is
short first down.
It's no slight on the players, but everything is up in question. You want to be sure you get the show one first, then go for the extra stuff.
8:50 and counting left in this football game. Pizzani on the option. Wilson handled a tough toss. Still on his feet. And is cut down at about the 20-yard line. That is a heck of an individual play by the junior tailback.
Excellent play. You're on the borderline of tragedy in that play. I mean, you know, we saw what happened earlier when, just at the end of the first half, when the Rockets tried a pitch play. The pitch was, I think, although it may have been behind the other ball carrier, it was a little higher, and it resulted in a bad situation. And we almost had the same thing happen here with a very, very low pitch, and thank goodness for the athleticism of the running backs.
Second and about 2 from the 18-yard line. Marshall snowed under this time. Tim Sullivan, 58. Mark Brown, 64. Right there for the Spartans to make the play.
Number 64.
Well, again, if you don't pull a guard and give yourself an extra blocker, from what I've seen so far, Stoneham is very, very capable of stopping you at the line of scrimmage. You've got to do something else. You got to get an extra blocker in there. You got to trap somebody. And it seems as though early in the game, Stoneham is susceptible to the trap because they're so fast to the ball, and they want to get in there and make penetration. And that's what you're looking for, is overzealous defenders.
Now 3rd and 3. Marshall left side breaking tackles.
Interesting formation that time, a power formation, but they pushed it outside over the tackle rather than be behind the quarterback.
Marshall has the first down at the 15-yard line. Skip Carino, the last tackler for Stoneham, 5'9" and 164-pound linebacker. 7:15 and counting left in this football game. Stoneham leads 8-6. We have not had any scoring here in the second half. Jeff Marshall scored for the Rockets. Eric Lockhart scored for the Spartans. Also a 2-yard extra point run to put the Spartans on top. 1st and 10 for Reading from the 15. Pizzani to throw. Throws to Bullseye. Kicked and intercepted by O'Donnell. John O'Donnell back to the 19-yard line. They were looking for Brian Burbide. I don't know who got a hand on it, but it was tipped at about the 5-yard line or so, and O'Donnell, sitting in deep safety, made the interception.
Almost looked as though the pass with a tip was actually behind the receiver, and basically gave the defender an open shot of the ball, and he's able to return the ball for some decent yardage to get out of danger in the shadow of the goal line.
6:46 left in the football game. Stoneham on top, 8-6. They have the ball at their own 19-yard line. Lockhart taken down nicely by sophomore cornerback Mike Lahane.
Who gets up and exudes some enthusiasm afterwards. Quite a tackle. Again, you see the Rockets trying to run him out a little bit. And even that time, he got towards the corner, and he seemed a little iffy. Wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do that time.
Of course, if you're Al Lanny, right now you're in top in this game. You have a league championship to win if you hold on. When do you start playing run the clock? And when do you stop playing aggressively move the ball down the field?
Well, this offense really can accomplish both, Michael. As long as they stay in bounds, this offense is going to accomplish both.
Fusco with the run right up the middle, taken down by Burbine, Aiello, and Grubbs all there for Reading. Ball at the 25-yard line will bring up a very important 3rd down and 4 situation for Stoneham. Obviously, this is not 4-down territory, so it comes down to this play for the Spartans and the Rockets.
It'll be interesting to see whether or not they try a play action, maybe try to throw the ball. I wonder whether they will or not, because Lockhart has run into some adversity on occasion.
Apolakis is split to the top of the screen. Fisher is flexed down a couple of yards. He's at the bottom of the screen. Here comes Lockhart. Stacked up by Grubb. Sophomore linebacker right there to make the play. I do not think he picked up the 1st down. It looks like he's short by about a yard or so.
Well, coach is going to tell a defensive player, square himself to the hole, and then step up and meet the ball carrier head on. And that's exactly what the sophomore linebacker did that time. It was an outstanding play.
Lockhart had 1,381 yards coming into this game. He was quoted last week as saying 1,500 was his personal goal. He needed a big day today to get that, and at this point, he has been held in check by a very solid Rocket defense. The defense, we said at the top, that will give up some yardage, but they don't give up a lot of points. They've only allowed 8 here today. Fisher back for a very important kick for the Spartans. And he will fake it. They'll come underneath to Domaretsky. The ball comes loose. And the Spartans, it seems they have picked it up. It looks like number 26, Nemorowski, was there on the fumble recovery. Fisher complete to Don Domaretsky for a big 1st down.
What did that person say? It says deja vu all over again. Those of us in Reading have had an opportunity to see some previous games highlighting and so forth, and kind of thinking about past Thanksgiving Day games. And one of the thoughts immediately that comes to mind is exactly the same thing last year. An opportunity to take the punt. And in fact, the last year, when he was back to kick the ball, he threw the ball in the right flat. When he faked it right now, he also threw the ball in the right flat. So it isn't even, it's the same play as they ran last year, maybe different people involved.
4:29 left. Stoneham has picked up a huge 1st down. The ball sits at their own 32-yard line. Pete Fisher to Don Domaretsky on the fake punt. Last year, there was Fisher with a sight adjustment. He noticed that no one was on the wide receiver. He took it upon himself to call the audible and throw the ball out to the wide man. This was obviously a design play. Domaretsky, I believe he came out of the backfield, ran a 5 or 6 yard out at the most, and Fisher was on the money for the big 1st down. And then Nemorowski, number 26, was there when the ball was fumbled. So everything worked well for the Stoneham Spartans on that sequence. 4:29 left. Again, we'll say it. If Stoneham can hold on to the lead, they will get at least a share of the Middlesex League title for the first time since 1972. Should the Spartans win and Wakefield defeat Melrose, the Spartans are off to the Super Bowl on the first Saturday in December to take on the Acton Boxborough Colonials. We talked to one of their advanced scouts, and they say, we're going to have a tough time with either one of these 2 football teams.
Well, the conversation, I was a party to that conversation, and it was kind of interesting and nice, and really very nice things to be said about that he said about the Middlesex League and Reading and Stoneham in particular, teams that they're going to have their hands full with.
1st and 10 for Stone. Here comes Lockhart. Taken down the backfield, Dan Aratuzzi, one of the tri-captains, knifing through to make the play.
Aratuzzi's having a big game for himself. His last game as a high school football player. He's doing all right for himself today.
That's something we have not touched on. Obviously, for one of these 2 football teams, it is the last game for the seniors in their respective uniforms. It may be the last game for both of these 2 football teams. There are a lot of questions to be answered about that. The emotions that run through. As you look at the clock and you realize, I have 4 minutes left as a Stoneham or Reading high school player.
Yeah, it's going to be a melancholy feeling.
2nd and 12. Lockhart, the deep man. Fusco straight ahead. Horvath and Aiello combine on the stop. Toss go out to about the 34-yard line. Bring up a third down and long for Stoneham.
Well, again, one of those proverbial big down situations for the Reading Rocket defense. Time is a-running, and they've got to get the ball back, and they've got to get it back fairly quickly here. And this is the opportunity that they've been waiting for. If they can hold them here, just watch out for another fake punt.
Third down.
Coming up on 3:10 to go in this football game. Stoneham clinging to a 2-point lead. Lockhart on the toss, cuts it back. And finally taken down. It looked like he may have tripped over his own man, but Nate O'Keefe, the right side defensive end, stayed home and played the cutback and made the tackle.
Now, this play ended up at the bottom of the TV screen. The guy who made the play initially for Reading was Mike Lahane, number 10, at the top of the TV screen. He's the one who was out there.
Reading.
Defenders forced the play. He stepped up. Lockhart ran out of real estate, started to cut the ball back again, and by the time he got back down to the end, apparently just got knocked off balance enough that he lost his footage and fell down. But Lahane is actually the guy, although he gets no credit for the tackle, he's the guy who made the play.
The Rockets have taken a timeout with 2:56 left in the football
game. Do you
game.
block this one, Mike, or do you put a return on, do you think?
I think you put a return on, Cliff, simply because Fisher is punting into a pretty stiff wind.
Okay.
And I think if you try to put a return block on, he may hit somebody with a pass. You never know.
Oof.
This one dies in the wind and will bounce out of bounds right at midfield.
Ball never turned over, and you could actually see it as it actually came in front of us here. We're about the 48-yard line. We could see the ball actually stop and start to come to the sideline by the wind effect. So Reading actually is taking the ball over here in pretty good position, and they've still got some timeouts left. I'm not sure exactly how many, a couple anyway, I would think. And the Spartans have got their hands full, but they've the defense ranked third in the league, has done it so far this year. Here's one more challenge for them to meet.
They have given up an average of 11.9 points per game, and they have held the Rockets, a good offense, to just 6 points from the midfield stripe. Pizzotti back to throw. Fisher. Pizzotti got away from him. Still on his feet and taken down hard at the 45-yard line. Peter Fisher had everything but the sack. He had him wrapped up. And 6'2", 185, 190 pounds. Pizzotti strong enough to shake off the tackle of Fisher.
Did a nice job to pick up yardage. Second, third, and fourth, time opportunities. He got knocked down by a number of guys. The disadvantage of the play was he didn't get out of bounds, so the clock continued to run.
2nd and 5. Wilson on the draw. Mark Brown right there to make the play at the line of scrimmage. Coming up on a 2-minute warning, it will be 3rd and 5 from the 45-yard line for the Rockets.
Timeout on the officials.
Official timeout.
This has been a turkey of a game. We won't say a whale of a game. It's actually been a great game for spectators. Even with the adverse weather conditions. I mean, the sun's out. Yeah, it's a little windy. It's a little chilly. But hey, it's Thanksgiving. What do you expect?
I would guess, Cliff, that the wind has affected the punting game to some degree, but it really has not affected the game itself. It doesn't seem like neither Pizzotti nor Gerstein has had a pass knocked down by the wind. Both teams are pretty much ground-oriented teams. It really hasn't affected Stoneham's play. So I'd say on a couple of occasions the wind has come into play, but it's been an outstanding football game, the way it should be on Thanksgiving Day. Two good teams knocking heads. Three wide receivers to the top of the screen. Wilson is the lone setback. Pizzotti on the option to Wilson, looking for the corner. Very well defensed by number 47, Jason Hegarty, who came in to make the play. The Rockets will take a timeout.
Well, there was a receiver, one of the wide receivers out there for the Rockets, did a nice job of sealing off. He was just out there. He held his position, waiting for the pursuit to come across for Stoneham, and did a very, very good job of sealing off. But unfortunately, by the time the runner got out there, this booth is rocking and rolling, isn't it? Literally, it is rocking and rolling. The fact is that by the time you get out there to the outside, the pursuit from Stoneham, as we've talked about all game long, we get out there and we're able to stop the play for, I mean, a significant play on the defensive part for Stoneham, since obviously now the Rockets face a fourth down situation. I mean, they obviously got to go for it. You know, the Rockets have to go for it. Now it's just a question about what play is Coach Gasperzak going to pull out of the bag.
We do apologize for the shaky nature of our shot here. Kathy Valeri upstairs running the camera, doing the best she can, but the press box is rocking. There's nothing we can do about it. Fourth and a long 5. Pizzotti back. Has Smith, and it goes incomplete. John O'Donnell there on the coverage for the Spartans. And Stoneham will take over on down.
Well, as the Spartan defense has done on more occasions than not this year, they come up big. Come up big. Close coverage in the secondary. There were 3 Rocket receivers within 7 or 8 yards of each other down there. Whether that was done intentionally, I don't know. But each one of them was closely covered by a Spartan defender. So, generally speaking, it was a good play call, but it was maybe even better defensive play.
We have a timeout on the field taken by Storm, and I like this call by Al Manning. Let's settle things down. Let's get focused on what we have, the time, the score, the situation. We'll reset that for you with 1:39 left. The Spartans on top 8-6. They are 1 minute and 39 seconds away from their first title since 1972.
You know, some of the, just to kind of, where we reset the situation for the fans, I just want to point out that there's some names we mentioned quite often today. There's some other names, however, that don't get mentioned so often, and the people who are, they're still debating how much time is on the clock here, watching the people going on the field here. But, you know, the backs wouldn't gain the yardage if it wasn't for some really tough in the trenches blocking and great play by both offensive lines. Because we have seen some degree of success from both teams running the ball, and it's only because of good blocking.
Now 1:43 on the scoreboard clock. Everything is squared away. The offensive line for the Spartans, Brown and Riley, Travasso, Smeal, Delegata. Not necessarily in that order, but all those guys are out there. Don't forget Pete Fisher, who a lot of people think is not only the best catching tight end in this league, but the best blocking tight end as well. And as Eric Lockhart said a couple times this week, let's not forget Matt Fusco and Greg Del Greco. They are actually, as many people say, they're guards with running back numbers. They're actually just the 3rd and 4th guard in the backfield. Here is Fusco, trying to hurdle over one player, taken down for a short gain.
Well, at a time where most everybody probably would presume that Lockhart's going to get the ball, a good change-up call. Plus the fact Stoneham wants to keep the ball in the middle of the field. They don't want to get to the sideline. They want to keep it in the middle of the field, make Reading utilize their timeouts and play the clock to their advantage. That's what they want to do. They've got to get another first down here.
Gain of a yard on the last play. Greg Fratto is the first man there for the Rockets, along with Kenyon Davis. 1:36 now to play in this football game. Stoneham 8, Reading 6. Again, we have not had any scoring here in the second half. I expected, and I believe you did as well, a lot more points on the board at this point of the game.
Yeah, I did. I would have thought that I would have thought that the winning team would score 3 touchdowns. And to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be a close game. I thought it'd be in the, I thought it'd be in the 18-14 category. That's what I thought it would be. But that obviously doesn't appear it's going to work out that way. But it's still been a good game. I'm not going to be upset because they didn't hit my score. Things are working out well. Just to kind of, this is an important part of the game, so I won't bore you with my trivia.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
2nd and 9 from the Spartan 47-yard line. Deerstein on the keeper. And will avoid one tackle.
He doesn't.
It's still in
He
bounds.
stayed in bounds. Yep. Well, he almost picked up the first down.
Many of us here thought he made a mistake by getting too close to the sideline and going out of bounds. Did he pick up the first down or not? I believe he's short by about a yard. The Rockets have burned another timeout. The ball sits at the Reading 41-yard line. It will bring up third down and a yard for the Spartans with 1:24 now left on the scoreboard clock.
Well, this is utterly amazing. Can you imagine, like in the old days, looking through the history of these games,
That is the last
the
Reading
series,
timeout.
we noted in the football supplement, it indicated that there were several of the earlier years back, I guess the series started in 1899, back in the early 1900s. There were a couple of years several years where they played each other twice. There was one year that it appeared to indicate that they actually played each other 3 times. Can you imagine these two teams saying, hey, look, we don't have school tomorrow, and we're free Saturday. What do you say we play 2 out of 3?
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It would be a great series. 1905.
Yep.
Reading won the series 2-1.
Yep.
1902 and 1903, they played 2 times. Those were a split.
And the series was played 1899 through 1905, and then it stopped. And then it began again in 1923. And, of course, as you pointed out, the Thanksgiving Day matchup began in 1935. So overall, in the entire series, back all the way to 1899, Reading has, at this point, a 49-25 lead in the series with 7 games ending in ties.
Stoneham looking for the 26th win in this series, and it may just be the biggest they've ever had. 8-6, the Spartans on top. 1:24 left in the football game. Third down and a yard. This is the biggest play to date. And Deerstein will try the quarterback keeper. This time he bounces it outside, has the first down. Marshall there on the stop for the Rockets, and with no timeouts left, Stoneham needs just to be careful with the football as Deerstein has picked up the first down, and now let's just watch the clock run out.
Yeah, it's basically an unenviable position for the Rockets to be in, but they've given it their best, and none of the coaches in that team, nor the players for that matter, are quitters, and they're just hanging in there, and they've done the best they can. There's not much else they can do.
Al Laney said he had not beaten Tom Kasperzak in his previous tries. It looks like this could be the first one on Al Laney's belt for Tom Kasperzak. He said he's more than pleased with the effort his seniors have given him this year. And it looks like the Rockets season will wind down right here at Spartan Field. We have heard rumors and unsubstantiated rumors that Wakefield is on top of Melrose, 14-0. Now one of our text boss pages,
One of the pages has indicated
has told us that at this point, Wakefield 14, Melrose nothing, but we do not know if that's the final score, so we cannot put Stoneham in the Super Bowl at this point.
Well, he said, Mr. Mascarello, it's true, it's true. That's what he said.
The Spartans are starting to celebrate, but maybe one snap too early. That will do it. Inside of 30 seconds left in this football game. And the Stoneham Spartans, for the first time since 1972, have at least a piece of the Middlesex League title. 15. If Wakefield wins their football game, the Spartans are in the Super Bowl.
Well, it came down to what we thought it was going to come down to. Reading's running a game with some passes thrown in, and Stoneham's running game. And, if it wasn't for a couple of miscues here and there, it's one of those games where people are going to think, gee, if I had done that, the result would have been different. It was a hard-fought game. Both teams did very, very well. And I'll tell you, as a fan, it was a really interesting, fun game to see.
Both teams had opportunities.
Yes.
Stoneham took advantage of a fumble by the Rockets at midfield to knock in a touchdown. Eric Lockhart, his 11th TD of the year. The 2-point conversion by Lockhart put Stoneham on top 8-6. That was all in the first half of play. No scoring here in the third and fourth quarters in this one because the defenses were as tough as they have been all season. So now for the Stoneham Spartans, it's sit by the radio or the TV or call somebody and find out what happened between Wakefield and Melrose. For the Rockets, they end their season at 5 wins, 4 losses, and a tie. Stoneham goes to 7-3 overall and a share of the Middlesex League crown. Cliff, just your final thoughts on this one.
Well, Having had an opportunity to see Reading play several times during the course of the year, I have seen Stoneham play previously, ending a little bit in heartache to some degree, but probably overall better than what some people thought they were going to do prior to the start of the season.
Stoneham Spartans are on their head coach, Al Lanny, a piece of the Middlesex League championship. That's going to do it from Spartan Field in Stoneham. For Cliff Allen, our producer, director, camera person, Kathy Valari, I'm Mike Moscarello. Congratulations to the 1994 champion Stoneham Spartan football team, their coaching staff, Al Lanny and the lot. A tremendous job from 1-9 to 7-3 in the league title. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully, for the Stoneham Spartans, they will be in the Super Bowl. If not, it's been a terrific season. From Spartan Field in Stoneham, so long.